Hi, it's Jen, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm doing a video which I tried to condense as much as I possibly could on some different spring crafts. And I'm sorry for the professional looking video here. Anyhow, I apologize. The video doesn't look that great, but I just wanted to go over some of the stuff that's on my mantle and that I've done for spring. This is just a pot. I got a few bunches of flowers from Michael's, and this is just more silk flowers with some little tulips from the dollar store. These are just more fake flowers. On the actual mantle are some of the projects I'm going to be showing, which is the sign and the board right here. And then the 2 wooden block projects, I'm going to show that. And then I'm going to show the doily banner and also the bunny banner. And the 2 paper mache bunnies, once I go over, I just got those from Joann's, and I decided not to do anything but tie a ribbon around them, so I'm not really going to show that. I don't know, maybe next year I'll decide to do that. And then this project is the butterfly tree. And so those are a few of the projects I'm going to be showing in this video. So I hope you enjoy. It's kind of longer than I really wanted it to be. I think it's about 20 minutes. So feel free to fast forward through any sections that you would like. And here I go again, panning back over. I guess I should probably cut this. The backboard that the doilies and the bunnies are on, actually, if you watch my intro video, I have a Halloween sign on my mantle. This is the back of that Halloween sign. So what I decided to do was make it a backdrop for all the other holidays that I might decorate for, and then Halloween I'll flip it around, so I just have one that I can use that backdrop for everything. And all that is palette wood that I've just lightly gone over in white paint. And in the near future I'm going to probably do at least a palette wood sign, so stay tuned for that sometime this summer probably. So the first project I'm doing is the bunny project, and basically all I've done is I went on Google and printed out a template and cut it out. And this is what I've used to do all of my bunnies. So I've taken scrap white paper, traced around the bunnies, and bent the little ear on this one. And then I'm just taking my distress inks and going over it pretty heavy-handed. I wanted it fairly dark. And so I just picked some spring colors, and I did that for, I believe, 6 bunnies. And then I just took a paintbrush and dipped it in water and sprinkled some droplets on it. And then I went over the bunnies with my clear Wink of Stella. And so these are all the colors that I'm using. And then I just took these little round balls, like cotton balls, and adhered those to my bunnies with, so I believe I used hot glue. Yeah, I did use hot glue because the other glue didn't stick enough. And to hang these, I'm using a fishing line, and this is so that it's clear and you can't see it. So all I've done is I've taken my piercing tool and just put 2 little holes in the bunny ears, and I've strung them with a fishing line, and that's project number 1. And project number 2 is a DIY garland. These little doilies I got at the 99-cent store. There was like 40 in a pack, and so I'm just taking my DIY sprays in different colors, and I didn't intentionally do this, but I ended up having the same number of bunnies as I did doilies. And so I've just picked Easter colors and sprayed the whole doily. Actually, that video was for something else. Those are actually on my tabletop. These are the doilies that I use for the banner. And so what I've done is I've sprayed the middle of them. Some of them with spray. Some of them I've taken this glitter paint, which I got from the Dollar Tree, and folded them in half, and then I just took my glue stick and I've glued the bottom edges, and I've left a hole so I can run my jute string through it, and that's what I'm using to hang these. And so basically I just strung them all up, and that is what is on the background hanging on my pallet wood sign on the mantle. And so that is what is behind my bunnies. And there's the same picture again. And then project number, and then I had some extra ones, and so I just strung it. I have this glass picture frame that I have in front of my fireplace, and that's what I use for that. And this one's pretty quick. I didn't show a lot because, like I think I mentioned before, is I just have a camera, my cell phone camera, and so I don't have like a tripod to set this up. So basically here I found some branches outside, and I'm kind of doing a dry brush with white acrylic paint. You can use spray paint, you can use glitter paint, whatever paint you choose. This is just what I chose. So I painted all of these white, and I sanded parts of it off, and then I have taken a rubber band and stuck them all together and put them in a wooden container that I made. And then I adhered butterflies and flowers to the branches with hot glue, and that's pretty much it. It was a really easy project, and I also did some Wink of Stella on some of the butterflies, and I colored some of the butterflies also with markers. So it's really up to you what you want to do. I just put these on randomly, and that's my butterfly tree. I really like how it turned out. I wish I would have had more branches. Project number 4 is a wood stand. I don't know what else to call it. You can use it for a photo holder. I'd probably switch it out between a photo holder and putting, depending on the holiday, making little pictures or whatever to clip onto it. So I got the wooden base from Joann's, I believe. And then the wooden candlestick I got from Hobby Lobby. And so basically I just marked it to cut out a piece so that it will rest in there. I know you can probably just glue that straight on there, but I just thought this would be more sturdy. So I cut out so that that piece can fit in there, and then I had to trim a little excess with my craft knife. And then this E6000, I never could get this to work for me, and I finally read the directions. So basically what you have to do is you put glue on both sides of the items you want to adhere together, and then you just let it sit for 2 minutes, and it will stick. And I never waited, and I could never figure out why it never worked. So I glued those together. I let it sit overnight, and then here I'm taking some Minwax stain, and I'm just going to go over the whole thing, stain it with my sponge brush, put the stain on with my sponge brush, and then wipe it off with a paper towel. And then here I'm taking more white acrylic paint. I'm just kind of doing another dry brush. And so I go over the whole thing, and then I sandpaper parts of it off to kind of distress it a little bit. And that's just a sample. And then I'm just taking a clip, and I use more of the E6000 to adhere that to the board. The Hello Spring sign is what I'm going to adhere to the board, or what I'm going to attach to it. For this, I took a piece of Bristol XL. I believe it's 96 pound. And I am taking a I think it's Pigma. I don't know what that's called. Micron pen. And a micron pen I'm using because I'm going to use my clean color brushes. And some of them I'm going to use watercoloring with them, and so this is a waterproof pen, and so that's why I'm using it. It's waterproof and fade proof, and it's also archival. So I'm just doing some flower doodles, and a lot of times if I'm going to do some kind of doodles and I can't think of anything, I'll just go on the internet and search for, say, flower doodles or heart doodles. And if I like them, I'll print them out and I have them in a book. The same goes with hand lettering. Like, I'm not real good at it, but it's something I want to learn. But if I find hand lettering that I like and I want to kind of emulate, I'll go ahead and print that out and put it in my book, so I have a reference when I'm trying to practice or when I want to do something. And so I've sped this up like a lot, times 5 or something like that, just to save time. And instead of cutting it all out, I kind of wanted to see how I did it. But it's basically just doodling flowers, which is probably one of the easiest things to doodle. And then I'm going to try some hand lettering, which it doesn't turn out the best, but, or actually I think I use my Neo colors after this. So I just do some doodles, and then around the edges to fill in some of the white spaces, I'm just putting circles. And I probably could have maybe cut this part out. But it just goes to show I'm no artist, and, you know, I like to do crafty stuff, but, you know, there's those people that are just great at crafty stuff. Everything turns out wonderful. That is not me. I try. I like doing it, and I think it turns out decent, but... So next I am using my Neo colors, which I don't have a chance to use a lot of, but they are so wonderful to use. So I've taken a yellow and an orange, and I've just, it's a water-soluble crayon. And so I just scrubbed those, or not scrubbed, but I just, you know, took the flat side of the crayon and went over the paper, and then I took a baby wipe, and that's what you get. It's awesome for journaling. I absolutely love, love, love these colors. They're so vibrant, and they turn out wonderful. They're kind of pricey, but I think they're well worth it. I just absolutely love them. So here I just did some tulips on the bottom, and I think one of my biggest challenges with writing in general, or hand lettering, is the spacing and also the form. Some days I practice, sometimes I don't, and I know it's something that if you want to be good at it, you kind of just have to keep practicing. So I went over this with pencil, which if you're going to do this, I would say to just go ahead and do it, or do the pencil very light and keep straight on the lines. I think because I'm doing this over the Neo colors, the wax soluble crayon, when I try and erase, when I go to erase this, even though this micron pen is a permanent pen, I think because it's on the wax crayon, it smudged it terribly. So I have, and I should have just left it, because right now it doesn't look too bad and I could have covered it up, but I go ahead and I try and erase it, and it makes black smudges. And so that's basically why I'm doing all of this, is to cover up the pencil lines and to cover up the smudges. And so at the end, I'll go back over it with a white gel marker. So here I am just going to take my clean color markers, and I haven't had a lot of success with these in the past. And, you know, they always say it depends on the kind of paper you use, and that is definitely true, because I had no problem whatsoever on this paper getting the watercolors to blend and to get the other colors to blend. So it does really matter what kind of paper. If you're using a cheap paper, they're probably not going to turn out as wonderful as they could possibly be. So I tried to fast forward this quite a bit so that I can get through the coloring, and I believe it's not going as fast as I thought it would. So if you want, you can go ahead and fast forward through this. So some of them I am using the water brush, some of them I'm just coloring without using the water brush. So basically what I tried to do is take a white gel pen and kind of dot around some of the areas that were black, and then I also took Wink Stella around some of the flowers. And that's it for project 5. For project 6, I'm just calling these spring blocks. Basically, what I'm using is some old stamp blocks, some rubber stamps that I unmounted from the block. And I'm going to use 2 of them. And I'm also using some wood, I don't know if these are wood veneers, but like the little wood shapes. I'm going to be using a bird, which is the one I'm showing right now. And I just took an alcohol marker and colored the bird pink. And then here are 2 little springs that I'm going to use. And then for the wood blocks, I just take a drill and drill a hole. I started out using the E6000 glue, and then I actually found that it was just easier to use my hot glue then. So I put the wire into the hole in the wood block, and I just trimmed that however the height that I wanted. And for the bird one, when I look at it later, I actually should have put 2 holes and 2 wires, so it looked like legs instead of him just on a piece of wire, but that was an afterthought. I can always go back and add that. So to keep the wood piece adhered to the wire, I actually just take a little piece of paper and press it against the back so that there's something that holds it together, and it has worked perfectly. So that's what I'm doing. That's just a piece of paper that holds that together. And so I put hot glue all over the wood block, and then I'm just taking some Easter grass, and this is the paper Easter grass or filler, or the package filler or gift filler. And I've taken the springs and I've attached those to the wire. And then I'm just trimming around the wood block to get some of the straggling pieces of filler. And then I take this little strip of decorative paper, I guess. It's just like a little border, and hot glue that to the block. And that's it for this block, pretty much. Pretty easy, and you probably have the supplies on hand. You can use any kind of wood block that you want, though, if you had a piece of wood that you had or whatever you wanted. So the next one I'm doing is flowers, and I do the same thing. I color them with my alcohol markers, and these I actually put brads in the centers and put these on the wood block and add the filler, and that was kind of quick, but it's basically the same. And then project 7 is spring flowers. These are just some flowers that I have some Wilton's gel and added to the water and put fresh flowers. My next project is mints. So these mints are like super easy to make, and with the gel coloring they turn out super vibrant. They can be used for so many things though. 4th of July, baby shower, wedding shower, pretty much anything like that. And the recipe is super easy. I kind of did a little summary of what you needed, but if you go on Pinterest, and I'll also leave a link in the description. So those are just some of the spring things that I've done. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit long, but I look forward to sharing more projects with you. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to bringing you another video. Thanks so much for watching.